Thank you so much for joining us here today. As you can see, it's a very, very special day for us. Thanks, Kareena, uh, our UNICEF celebrity advocate. The children were so enthusiastic, so eager to tell her story and listen to her story. They formed a circle around her when we entered the room, and I was seeing that the circles becoming smaller and smaller and closer, and they really had good fun. That UNICEF Maharashtra is working with the government of Maharashtra on, and it will be launched hopefully within a month. And just underlining how important it is for children to read, write, and count. We have seen before, and especially after COVID, that the studies have shown us that children are not adequately learning to read and write and count as for their age and for their grades. So that is why this is reading is so important, and that is what we want to underline. And this is going to tremendously contribute, help the learning recovery that we have been facing, especially through the pandemic. From the bottom of my heart and on behalf of UNICEF India, I would like to extend our thanks, heartfelt thanks to you for not only today, for all that you have done for, with UNICEF India and for children in the last several years. And we really look forward to have many more years of your support and your company.
Start of a campaign always starts with a passion. Without passion, a campaign doesn't move. And why do we have this reading movement here in Maharashtra? Zafreen has just told you the context at the national level. Kareena saw it for herself with the children in the school that we have come here today, the enthusiasm and the passion of the teachers in teaching and of the child to learn and of the child to ask questions of Kareena. I think this is what denotes the start of a foundation of learning. It's a journey which starts young. You cannot crack it at the age when you become a grandmother or a grandfather. It has to start young, and this is part of the Government of India's campaign of foundational literacy and numeracy, which is where Maharashtra is now starting the reading campaign. I think all of us, when we get up every day, we do have something to read. Either it's a news item or a WhatsApp message, but we have now learned to read because we started reading for joy when we were young. We were told stories. We were told from 𝗵𝗵𝗬𝗀 and Panchatantra, like Kareena was mentioning. Those have been still inscribed in our minds. And today, we no more read for fun, we read for learning. But if you don't have that environment at home, then you have to start from the scratch, and that is the foundation for learning. In this state, while we have good schools, good infrastructure, we also have the National Achievement Survey done in all the states, and the data for Maharashtra is telling us that 3 out of every 10 children who are in grade 3 cannot read and write a simple book of grade 3. 4 out of 10 children of grade 5 cannot read and write a book of grade 5. And as the grades increase, the percentages only worsen. It does tell us that there is something missing, and that missing is the joy of learning, the joy of reading. So that is why UNICEF Maharashtra has embarked upon the reading campaign with the hashtag Every Child Reads. And April 23rd marks the World Reading Day. That is when we would like to launch this campaign with the government of Maharashtra and get in not just the education department, not just get in media, not just get in celebrities, but it should become each and every person's duty to contribute to the reading campaign, because we all either have children or we interact with children, we see children on the streets. If the sustainable development goal is about leaving no one behind, then we have to ensure that every child in Maharashtra reads, gets access to libraries, gets access to storybooks, and therefore improves his or her joy of reading, which then starts transitioning into reading to learn. They have to first learn to read, then they will transition into read to learn. I think this is the context in which we will launch this campaign next month, but this is like a precursor, having Kareena with us, and actually saying it from a very experienced mother of 2 children who says how important it is to read and to read stories to them. So all it requires, actually scientific evidence says 15 minutes of your time reading to a child is good enough for the child's psychosocial development. That's what it needs. You can provide the best of services in terms of health, nutrition, schooling, clothes, uniform, but if you don't spend that me time with that child, then that child is not going to become a future prominent citizen of this country. If you have to invest in tomorrow, we have to start today. And that's why this reading campaign. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here. Thank you to UNICEF and to Mitha Nagar Municipal School for having me here today to experience. क्योंकि जो आज मैंने देखा खुद अपनी आँखों से, I think कभी हमने सोचा नहीं था कि मैं यहाँ आऊँगी, बच्चों के साथ interact करूँगी, उनसे बातें करूँगी और उनकी खुद की कहानी सुनूंगी कि what they actually feel. Today I'm actually here not as a celebrity but as a mother first and then a UNICEF celebrity advocate. I have been working with UNICEF for almost a decade now and काफ़ी कुछ campaigns किए हमने education के बारे में, learning के बारे में. But I think this campaign was truly special when they came up with this thought that I should come and visit and come here and experience it myself. I thought that I must come to see as a mother, not as a celebrity, as a star. जब हम बच्चों के साथ बैठ रहे थे, I think I was actually surprised to see कि जिस brightness, जिस alertness, जिस fluency कि they were talking to me, they were telling me stories. मैंने पहली सवाल मैंने पूछा कि y'all tell me stories क्योंकि मैं सुनना चाहती थी कि how do they communicate when they are talking to me. Me asking them questions of course is very easy, but for them to be confident to tell me and share their stories, कि what books have they read, what stories do they remember, is a very, very different thought altogether, very different experience. I have to say that I am absolutely overwhelmed and surprised by that. I knew that they would be very good, they would be bright. But सबने कहा कि books पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, English में पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, science पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, लिखना अच्छा लगता है. क्योंकि बचपन में लिखना, maths करना और किताबें पढ़ना बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है हमारे लिए. That is what is going to lay the foundation. Foundational learning is going to, you know, it is our future. It is going to help them grow and become what they are. जब मैंने पूछा सबसे कि क्या बनना है बड़े होकर, सबने कहा IAS ऑफिसर, आर्मी में ज्वाइन करना है, साइंटिस्ट बनना है, डेंटिस्ट बनना है. ऑफ कोर्स किसी ने नहीं कहा कि फिल्म स्टार बनना है क्योंकि कभी किसी ने सोचा नहीं. मुझे भी नहीं बनना था. आई ऑल्सो वॉज लाइक नहीं, मैं होस्टेस बनूंगी, मैं लॉयर बनूंगी. एंड दैट्स यू नो वो जर्नी वैसे शुरू होती है. बट आई एम सो हैप्पी दैट सबके आंसर्स ऐसे थे. सबके आंसर्स वर लाइक they just wanted to, उनकी जो energy थी, and they had that joy in their eyes because they are reading, they are learning. And I have to give credit to the BMC कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने subjects choose किए, teachers choose किए हैं, जिस तरह से professionals को choose किए, subjects, extra curricular activities. मैंने आज खुद सुना कल्पना उम्रे बीट ऑफिसर से, उन्होंने मैं उनसे बात कर रही थी, टीचर से बात कर रही थी यहाँ से, मीठा नगर टीचर से, स्कूल टीचर से. दे आर टीचिंग देम carpentry, they are teaching women also carpentry, they are teaching the girls self-defense, 6 to 8 age group में, they are teaching them self-defense. These are the extracurricular activities that now children have interest in. And all this knowledge comes from only one part, is when they are taught how to read with understanding. रीडिंग, बचपन में जब हमें किताब उठाना है, बुक खोलना है, कहानियाँ सुननी है, कहानियाँ पढ़नी है, that is when you have the knowledge to explore your mind, learn things, do extracurricular activities. It could be reading for that matter. मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि बुक पढ़ना सिर्फ इंग्लिश में नहीं, अपने मदर टंग में होना चाहिए. अपने बच्चों को सिखाएं कि चाहे वो हिंदी में हो, गुजराती में हो, मराठी में, कोई भी लोकल लैंग्वेज. यहाँ जो हमारे टीचर्स मीठा नगर स्कूल के हैं, उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि दे हैव कन्नड़ा, तमिल, तेलुगु, ऑल लैंग्वेजेस. चिल्ड्रन आर रीडिंग इन देयर लैंग्वेज ऑफ कंफर्ट, इन देयर लैंग्वेज ऑफ चॉइस एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है, बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि हम अपने बच्चों को सिखाएं कि दे मस्ट इंजॉय रीडिंग इन देयर लैंग्वेज for better understanding. And I'm so happy that I have this opportunity to explain to all of y'all and encourage y'all to join me in this campaign of Every Child Reading. for foundational learning. I'm so happy that media has taken the time कि आप आएं, so that you all can also spread this word of every child reading. Not just, of course, schools में तो environment बनता ही है, definitely. When we have the environment, हमारे teachers classes में encourage करते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, library time में encourage करते हैं. But we must encourage this at home also. क्योंकि मैं 2 बच्चों की माँ हूँ, मुझे पता है कि मैं कितना encourage करती हूँ. वो बेड टाइम की जो कहानी होती है कि जो तैमूर और जे सुनते हैं आज भी, तैमूर खास करके, क्योंकि अभी ही इज़ इन दैट प्राइमरी ईयर्स ऑफ वांटिंग टू रीड, वांटिंग टू शो कि मुझे पढ़ना आता है, कोशिश करना आता है. ही लाइक्स टू डू एंड ही इज़ लविंग रीडिंग, चाहे वो अमर चित्रकथा की कहानी हो, पंचतंत्र की कहानियाँ हो, अकबर बीरबल की कहानियाँ हो. ही इज़ enjoying अलादीन, ही इज़ enjoying all these kind of stories right now. And for me to see and take out वो जो 15-20 मिनट जो वक्त हम लोग निकालते हैं, of course, with our busy schedule, Saif and me, it's always either him or me, we take out that time. That वो पत्थर में लिखा हुआ है कि वो टाइम जो है तैमूर के सोने से पहले कि माँ या बाप को definitely. Of course, working parents होते ही, but grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, friends, anybody. Idea is that to enjoy the time when you're reading also, you know, because that helps explore the child's mind, it opens their horizons. इसलिए आज लोग, ये बच्चे जो मैं मिली थी आज, ये लोग इतने कहानियाँ सुन रहे हैं, बुक्स पढ़ रहे हैं, अपनी भाषा में पढ़ रहे हैं. सब ने इतने अच्छे आंसर्स दी, सब ने कहा कि बड़े होकर मुझे ये करना है, वो करना है. किसी ने कहा कि 2 फ्रेंड्स जो थे, जो मेरे बाजू में बैठे थे, दे सेड मी एंड हिम वी बोथ विल बी साइंटिस्ट टुगेदर. So now that is something, because he's probably reading those books and understanding those stories. So truly, really very, very grateful to have this opportunity. Thank you for coming to help me also and spread this word in every home, that every parent should give 20 minutes of their time to their child. Thank you to UNICEF, you know, for actually taking out and, you know, setting up this whole thing for me to experience, and also to the BMC for the wonderful job that they have actually, because I've seen it with my eyes now कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने you know, subjects choose किए. I truly am overwhelmed. So thank you. Say if you kind of make it into a form कि आप कहानी सुना रहे हैं बैठ के, you know, that whole experience, create that entire environment, I think it kind of encourages them to want to listen or want to read, you know, take their mind to a different imagination. I think kids of today are very bright, they are ready for that. The idea is just कि उनको engage करना पड़ता है, to take out that वक्त निकाल के इन्वायरमेंट क्रिएट करके उनको इंगेज करना है. तो जैसे मैंने कहा कि इंगेजमेंट नॉट नेसेसरी हैज़ टू बी इन इंग्लिश, इट कैन बी इन अ लैंग्वेज दैट दे एंजॉय, अ लैंग्वेज दैट दे अंडरस्टैंड. द आइडिया इज़ टू फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड टू रीड. वो एक स्किल है, तो उसको पुश करना चाहिए, बिकॉज देन यू नो दे विल स्टार्ट वंस इट स्टार्ट्स. आई नो इट, आई स्टार्टेड एट अ वेरी लेट एज इन माई लाइफ, बट आई थिंक के इट जस्ट हुक्स यू. So children are very, very vulnerable. They are like sponges at this primary age of theirs, you know. Okay, उन्हें जो आप whatever you tell them, they just absorb it. So if you engage them with that story, वो एक habit सा बन जाता है कि रोज़ शाम को जैसे my child is looking forward to it, you know, like Taimur looks forward to it कि he कभी वो upset हो जाता है if I have to go out at that, you know, 8:30 story session time. I can see that hurt in his eyes. That, you know, so I also feel bad that then, you know, so we try to make up that Saif will read to him. So it becomes into that habit. They are like sponges.
Also, it helps to visualization.
Completely. It has that whole aspect where they start imagining things. It broadens their horizons. It, you know, I mean, you know, once you learn to read, then you start reading to learn. You know, that is the moral of the whole, I think, the whole idea of the campaign as well, you know. So it's the idea to push them to learn to read first, for them to explore the world. You can actually sit in a small corner of your house and explore the entire world and mind diaspora, and just sitting there while knowing, you know. Okay, so that is why it's the joy, you know. It's